Shout with joy to God all the earth.
Sing to the glory of his name.
Offer him glory and praise.
Sing to the glory of his
Sing
name.
to the glory.
Sing to the glory of his
Sing
name.
to the glory.
Sing to the glory of his name.
Sing to the
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Devoretorium. Today is a very special edition of the Devoretorium. My name, once again, Darnay Devore. I'm going to be your host. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about my father, Kinwood Devore. Kinwood Devore, you've seen several of his sermons that I've already posted on this channel. If you've not, check those out. Very powerful stuff. But my father, as a person, as a whole, he was also an amazing athlete. Okay, he grew up doing running track, playing football, and even doing some boxing. So as he became a preacher, he didn't quite let all of that go. For example, he could preach a sermon, an amazing sermon, a sermon that would have everyone in tears, where he's going deep into the Word of God, the fruition of the gospel from the Old Testament through the New. He would go so deep and in depth that all eyes would just, wow. Jaws would drop. But after service, he's in the back, he's shaking hands in the foyer, and then guys that were half his age, hearing that he used to run track from his sermon, would approach him and challenge him. Kinwood Devore, I bet I can beat you running. And these were guys half his age. Let's say he's 40, these guys are 20. And he'd say, okay. He's still in his suit that he preached in and his dress shoes. He would take his hat off. They'd go outside in front of the building, and they'd actually race right in front of the church building with the rest of the congregation watching like, whoa, what's about to happen? And here's the key. My dad would win again and again and again. Some of the other young men would come up and, okay, you say you got fast hands because he used to box. Let's see how fast those hands really are. And they would do what's called slap boxing. Okay, it's like boxing, but open-handed, and you wouldn't hit the person hard, but just enough to tag, or what have you, just so they know if that was a fist, they'd have got knocked out. So they're doing this tag slap boxing in the parking lot, and again, my dad would win. So these guys are back in the Bible study with my father, teaching and preaching, and they're listening to him. They're growing in the Word of God, but at the same time, they're plotting their revenge. One day I'm going to beat this man running. One day I'm going to beat him in slap boxing, whatever. Okay, this is the kind of father, this is the kind of preacher my dad was. Okay, and he called it like it was. He was a straight shooter on so many things. But he also loved singing, loved to sing. And back in 1981, he was part of a group called the Christianaires. They were a church chorus. This is back in Los Angeles, California. He was about 32 years old at the time. And I recently came across that album that they recorded. As I came across this album, I digitized it. And while listening to the tracks, my dad, he's a natural bass. But there was one particular track where he sang lead on. It's called Unto Thee, O Lord. I was about 9 years old at the time, and I hated this group. Now, I didn't hate the group because they weren't good people, because they were. They were amazing people. I didn't hate the group because they were bad singers. They were great singers. I was 9 years old and unable to appreciate how good they were and how many wonderful people there were in this group. But my issue was that I had to go to their practice every Saturday morning. I was too young to stay home by myself. So I had to interrupt my Saturday morning cartoons to go to this practice of the Christianaires, and I hated it because it took me out of my 9-year-old schedule. Of course, over time, I got over it, and I began to really appreciate what they did at that time. So on today's video, I'm going to present to you Unto Thee, O Lord, the song my dad sang lead on. Enjoy.
Unto Thee, O Lord.
Unto Thee, O Lord.
Do I lift up my soul.
Do I lift up my soul.
Unto Thee, O Lord.
Unto Thee, O Lord.
Do I lift up my soul.
Do I lift up my soul.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I trust in Thee.
I trust in Thee.
Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my my enemies triumph over me. Yea, let none that way on thee be ashamed. Yea, let none that way on thee be ashamed. Oh my God, I trust in thee. Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Remember now the sins of my youth. Remember now the sins of my youth. Oh my God, I trust in thee. Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. Oh my God, I trust in thee. Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me. Oh, let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me.